स्क्रीन पे जो पहला पेज आपको दिख रहा है इसमें लिखा हुआ है डिज़ाइन ब्रीफ। एक्चुअली ये मिसकॉन्सेप्शन है कि इस तरह की चीज़ें जो हम थीम बनाते हैं, ये एंट्री है, ये बार एरिया है, ये टीवी यूनिट है, डाइनिंग एरिया एंड मंदिर, पैंट्री एंड यूटिलिटी, ये जितनी भी एरियाज आप देख पा रहे हैं ये सारे के सारे क्या हैं, डिज़ाइन ब्रीफ नहीं है। क्योंकि डिज़ाइन ब्रीफ एक अलग लाइन पे काम करता है, उसमें प्रोजेक्ट टाइमलाइन होता है, उसके अंदर बजट होता है, उसका एक ब्रीफ होता है, स्कोप ऑफ वर्क क्या है, डिलीवरेबल्स क्या है, क्या डिलीवर करना है डिज़ाइनर को या कंपनी को। एक्चुअली वी आर लर्निंग मूड बोर्ड. What is called mood board? This is one of the projects done by my former student, and this is the real location and real client. So let's begin with the color theme. So he started with color theme. So can you tell me what kind of color theme you can see on the screen? कौन सा scheme दिख रहा है? What is the name of the color scheme? Color scheme is nothing but planning of color for your interior space. There are certain research theme which are named as monochromatic color scheme, neutral color scheme, analogous color scheme, complementary color scheme, triad, tetrad. These are the names of the color schemes. Even you can develop your own color scheme, which will be called as signature color scheme. You can take inspiration from nature, from flower, from bird, from tree. Before constructing anything, we make a blueprint, a plan that I'm going to use these numbers of colors. It's a very subtle thing. You have a choice to use 10 or 20 or 30 colors in one space. You can use just one color also. You can use 2 colors, 3 colors, but mostly 3 to 4 colors do a wonder to your space, depending on the grandness or the size of the space also. यहाँ पे जो color scheme दिख रहा है आपको, उसमें एक ही कलर का म्यूटेटेड फॉर्म है जिसको हम लोग कहते हैं मोनोक्रोमैटिक कलर स्कीम. मोनो मीन्स वन कलर, मोनो कलर. सो एक ही कलर के ग्रेडेशन को यूज किया गया है. साथ में जो आपको पता होगा एक क्रोमैटिक कलर और न्यूट्रल कलर्स भी होते हैं. सो एक क्रोमैटिक में आते हैं जैसे कि वाइट, ब्लैक, ब्राउन एंड द लाइटर tones of different colors. Some people consider them as also the achromatic. If you remember in the previous videos, I have mentioned that despite deciding one color scheme, you cannot 100% rely on the number of colors you are picking in that or under that color scheme. You'll have to have the support of neutral colors or achromatic colors. हिंदी में कहते हैं कि ये जो न्यूट्रल या एक्रोमैटिक कलर्स हैं ये निहित हैं. इनको माना जाता है कि दे आर द पार्ट एंड पार्सल ऑफ योर स्पेस. उनकी परसेंटेज भी आप डिसाइड कर सकते हो एक्रोमैटिक की, और अपने कलर थीम या कलर स्कीम के परसेंटेज भी फर्दर डिसाइड कर सकते हो. सो इसको देखने से ये लगता है एक स्टूडेंट ने अपने क्लाइंट को 3 ऑप्शन दिए. पहला ऑप्शन ये है, दूसरा ऑप्शन ये है और तीसरा ऑप्शन ये है. सो आप मुझे बता सकते हैं कि इसमें टिंट्स, शेड्स और टोन्स कौन ज़्यादा यूज हो रहा है या इनके परसेंटेज क्या हैं. इनमें देखिए तो इसमें टिंट यूज हो रहा है, टोन या शेड यूज हो रहा है. बताइए, जब तक कि हम इन सब चीज़ों को पहचानेंगे नहीं तो डिसीजन कैसे लेंगे कलर्स के बारे में. ग्रेडेशन बहुत ही माइनर है. कॉन्ट्रास्ट यहाँ पे कम है कलर्स का, लेकिन यहाँ पे इन्होंने कॉन्ट्रास्ट ज्यादा लिया है. इट्स अ हाई कॉन्ट्रास्ट ओवर हियर, यू कैन सी. ये दोनों आपस में कॉन्ट्रास्ट कम बना रहे हैं, लेकिन ये दोनों ज्यादा बना रहे हैं. इनको इससे कंपेयर करें तो यहाँ पे भी ये दोनों कॉन्ट्रास्ट हाई बना रहे हैं. अब इस कलर को इसके साथ रखेंगे तो उतना ज्यादा कॉन्ट्रास्ट नहीं है. मतलब इसमें 3 लेवल के कॉन्ट्रास्ट है, लो, मिड एंड हाई. लेकिन यहाँ पे कॉन्ट्रास्ट बहुत माइनर है. यहाँ देखते हैं, क्योंकि जब तक कि हम कलर थीम को डिसाइड नहीं करते हैं, ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग नहीं करते हैं, दैट व्हाट काइंड ऑफ फील और लुक यू वांट, एंड दैट टोटली डिपेंड्स ऑन व्हाट काइंड ऑफ कॉन्ट्रास्ट यू वांट टू अचीव. मोनोक्रोम कहता है कि एक ही कलर के ग्रेडेशंस बना दो, लेकिन ये कोई नहीं बताता कि कितना परसेंटेज या कितने ज्यादा कंट्रास्ट या कितने कम कंट्रास्ट में, लो कंट्रास्ट में, हाई कंट्रास्ट में। कंट्रास्ट किसको डिसाइड करना है? डिजाइनर को डिसाइड करना है। कैन यू रियली लर्न this process of deciding contrast? Can anybody teach you contrast? Your eyes and brain, depending on your past experiences or knowledge or exposure, you decide the level of contrast. This topic I have taught multiple times, emphasized multiple times to make you understand that just deciding color scheme is not enough. Color scheme में colors के साथ साथ बैकग्राउंड कलर दैट इज न्यूट्रल और क्रोमेटिक कलर कौन कौन से लेने हैं, साथ में कंट्रास्ट कितना रखना है, ये भी जानना होता है। इज दैट क्लियर? सो क्लाइंट को ये 3 ऑप्शन देता है, ऐसे आपने भी करना है, वेदर यू चूज दिस और दिस। सो दिस स्लाइड is showing nothing but the overall look and feel of the space. Since we are talking about mood board, so let's understand what is called mood board. What you do, you make a collection of different images considering its materials and finish, which will represent what? The look, feel and emotion you want in that particular space. Look, feel and emotion. That is what achieved through the color theme or color scheme. क्या अचीव करेंगे हम? Look, feel and emotion. If you do so, it means you are doing the mood board. Now he begins the space. First thing he touches on the entry of the residence. You can have a look. Again he gives multiple options to the client. This is one of the entrances. This is second one. This is third one. And this is fourth one. What you observe on the entry, that some colors, texture and material has been used to communicate about the project's aesthetics, mood and style. If you make a collection over here to reflect aesthetics, mood and style, then it will be called as mood board. So what collection we do in mood board? Of the colors, textures, materials. If you don't do so, you don't create a certain style, mood or aesthetics. After giving opportunity to show the client the entry of the residence, he moves to the next page and he talks about the bar. Again, multiple options to choose from very light design to very heavy design. It's just the inspirational images. So have a look of the second line. What is mood board? It's a way to get inspired so that you could put together different design elements to achieve what? Again, look, feel and emotion you want. So he gives opportunity to the client to choose certain style, certain mood, certain feel, look, emotion. If you don't touch upon these things, it means you are not creating a mood board. Even though you don't use these terminologies of aesthetics, mood, style, emotion, look, feel, it doesn't matter. Because if you show somebody the visual element, he or she would be able to like or dislike. So if you're giving multiple options, so the chances are high that he will grade out of these 4 maybe one as the top, the most liked one. And then he may say that this I can choose if certain one of them is not applicable to his design. And he may hate or he may dislike some of them. So by showing your mood board, you are achieving what? Let me show you what you achieve. It serves as what? It serves as visual tool for the designer and client. It's a tool for both to explore what? To explore the design and design direction. Before implementing your design, it gives you a way, a direction, a definition to your design. What do you mean by design direction? Direction means whether you want in your space certain color theme, certain geometry, subtle colors of the material, the outstanding glaring material or subdued material, whether you want the space to speak up for itself, whether you want to suppress this space or certain areas of the space, these all comes through your Mood board. This is another space, obviously for the living room. These are the options of the TV unit. Again, client has to choose one of them. Suppose both of them are not coming together, coming on a common ground, maybe this can happen. So what mood board says here, see the next line. It serves as a visual brainstorming tool. It's a brainstorming tool of your project. It's a communication device. Your client may like some of the portions of this image and maybe some of the portions of this image. Both of you are discussing your project to find a common ground. You are brainstorming that I like this, but I didn't like this boxy look. Maybe I liked this portion over here and this portion over here. So there are chances that both of you can conclude that let's club them together to make one another design. In design industry, mostly people take cues from different images and they compose their own. This is how mostly designers do. This is the practical approach of the designers. They pick and choose. It's kind of cherry picking, discussing with the client and clubbing them together in another 3D software. Any one of the softwares of the 3D, they go into it and with the help of the plugins of the render, they take out final image of the project. Two spaces coming together, the dining area and the mandir. So he's giving the opportunity to the client to choose from these spaces, two mandirs and two dining space. He's strongly suggesting to the client that you should be using the line element, which is changing the direction from vertical to horizontal to vertical to again to horizontal, making a shape of. Here again, this horizontal element and this vertical element are not common in geometry and color. Material wise also they are different, but here they are creating contrast with this element. Whether you discuss with your client with the help of the words like this, that generally we call it as curation of images, colors, textures, words to establish a theme. Why we show a client a mood board? To establish a complete theme about the project. Liking and disliking of the client is a must thing. So by showing all these images, you are trying to establish a theme with your client. The next slide talks about pantry and utility. Again, multiple options to choose from. Now, these are all the bedrooms. You can see the contrast of colors and design and space utility. So, by showing all these images to your client, what you want to achieve is nothing but to have a shared vision about the project. Why do we call anything which requires efforts of multiple people as project? Because in one project, there's multiple brains are working together. If they are working together, then they should have a shared vision. If all the people are, suppose you as a designer having a different direction of thinking about the design and your client is having a totally different and opposite direction of the idea about the design, then there won't be a shared vision. So to establish shared vision, you'll have to show multiple. See, there's huge numbers of the bed designs and surrounding area of the bed also to capture the essence of what your client wants from you. आपका client आपसे क्या चाहता है, ये चीज अचीव तभी किया जा सकता है when you show multiple images to your client. If you're just trying to impose your own thinking, then it will be a very difficult task as a designer for you, because there won't be a shared vision. Shared vision means, हिंदी में क्या कहेंगे इसको, एक संग सपने देखना, एक संग साथ मिलकर किसी चीज में रुचि दिखाना, उस कार्य को संपादित करने के लिए कई लोग एक ही दिशा में सोच रहे हो, एफर्ट्स लगा रहे हो, यही शेयर्ड विजन है. You also think about the country should grow. I also think that this country should grow. You think that the economy should go up. I also think that the economy should go up, because you think that you will be having the shared assets of this country. I also think the same. So this is all what? There's a common ground that yes, we want the development of the country. In the same way, all the participants or stakeholders of the project should have a common shared vision, and that is established through what? Through mood board. This is the another space: balcony, dressing area. Again, choices. You can do brainstorming with your client to conclude one of them. Then you have baby room. You can see again different choices for the client. Do you know why we give opportunity to our client to reach on a conclusion? Because if you don't do so, then the implementation of your project will have multiple hiccups. बार बार रुकावट आ सकती है, उसमें controversies हो सकते हैं. But you show initially all these things to your client, then what happens is that chances of clashes regarding the design won't happen. That is why initially you should attempt to make a what? Not the design brief, but mood board. Initially, when I gave him the brief about mood board, I was also talking about the design brief. So he mistook it actually. That's why he's writing design brief. It's not design brief, it's mood board. So see the journey. I'm just concluding. First is the color theme. Then he's starting from the very beginning of the residence. Entry. Then he talks about bar. Then TV unit, because these two are probably in the hall. Then he's talking about the adjoining area like dining area, and then a mandir. We don't have the space plan, so I cannot show you the sequence, but probability is very high that he's going in sequence. Then he's talking about pantry and utility, and then he's talking about bedrooms. Then finally the balcony dressing is also having baby room idea over here. So by showing all these practical images based on the look, feel, emotion, aesthetic, mood, style, and having a common ground or shared vision, you need to have a mood board. It's a must thing before beginning your project. Hope you have understood. Thank you very much for watching this video.